just bombing the hell out of a country, you know.
What do you mean, like randomly?
No, just Fred saying, you know, drop a Siri on him, you know, that'll fix it. Like, yeah, sure.
Who knows? Hey, look, we don't got no answers. I ain't got
no just scroll fucking messages. That's the fucking point.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an almost subjectless Keyboard Warriors presented by RepTheWarriors.com. My name is Eddie Law. That's Fred Kirby. That's just Rubalcaba. All right, folks. Yeah, there's not a lot going on in MMA. I mean, besides this weekend's cards, we got UFC Singapore. We got, Professional Fighters League 2. I guess the biggest story, and it's weird to even say it, it's not even much of a story more than it is like a thing to talk about, is the new host of the MMA Hour. They picked good old Luke Thomas. What do you think there, Fred?
Well, listen, we all kind of seen this one coming, right? Who the fuck over at MMA Fighting was going to take Ariel's place other than Luke Thomas? It had to be Luke. I do like the fact that I think it's just 2 hours, right?
Right. They cut it down from 6 to 2 or whatever the fuck you said.
I can dig that. Like I said before, I mean, I like Luke Thomas, and I don't think I want 4 or 5 hours of that cat. You know what I mean? And I like him. So good job there. Yeah, look, with what they got, Luke Thomas was by far the best pick. He's a smart guy. He can kind of be condescending a little bit sometimes.
Oh, he's a cunt. But
yeah, you know what I mean? But all things considered, with what we got in MMA media to work with, I'll take Luke. You know what I mean? Like, it is what, like I said, I wouldn't want 4 or 5 hours of that dude. Not that I wanted 4 or 5 of Hawani, but we were just kind of used to it. I'll fucking take it, man. You know what I mean? Let's see what he can do with that. I've seen him. His thing isn't really talking to fighters. You know what I mean? Like, if you've been fucking with Luke Thomas, you'll notice that most of his shit is his appearances on the MMA beat, or more importantly, his live chat thing, which I actually enjoy and watch pretty much every week. But this is different. What we do is different. We're talking to each other about general topics. What Ariel Hawani does or did was interview fighters. These are different skill sets, man. I have seen Luke Thomas interview fighters on his radio show, and it's not like he's bad at it. But this will be different. Yeah, this will be different, man. Fighter after fighter after fighter for 2 hours straight. It is definitely different than what we're used to seeing from him. But again, all things considered, decent choice. Well, who else was fucking there, right?
Yeah, it wasn't gonna be Raimondi or Meltzer.
What the fuck, right? Exactly. Like, if it would have been Raimondi, it would have definitely been a fucking shit show. Yeah, so I'll take off.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and Jesse, you can chime in after this real quick. I can say this. I didn't watch or listen to Hawani's show for the last almost 2 years. I bailed on that shit. It was too goddamn long, and I couldn't do it no more. Like, too much. Like, as soon as he started like criticizing like fighters like strategies and skill sets and shit, I was like, all right, go eat a dick. You don't even train. So I couldn't respect him for it. Total respect. Hey, look, he's going off the ESPN. Do your thing, dog. Feed your family. You gotta do what you got to do. It's better for you. Do your thing. That being said, I'm not going to tune into that show either. So it's all good. But I'm actually kind of interested to see what Luke Thomas does with it. And if he's going to do, fighter after fighter after fighter, cool. Although they're not setting him up to fail, but they're handing him the keys. I don't want to say like a Lambo, but they're handing him the keys to like a BMW, and they're saying don't crash your shit. You know what I mean? And he's cut down to 2 hours and everything, which I like. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting. But what are your thoughts there on the move, Jesse?
I honestly agree with Fred. Really weirdly, that I don't know, man. I don't like this move. I think Fred was right. I think the only way that show worked was with that guy, Helwani. I think Luke Thomas has his own style of doing things. And the other thing is that Luke Thomas is an actual journalist. He is an actual journalist that calls it how he sees it. And he doesn't make friends. He doesn't make nice with people. So as per we've seen with the whole John Jones thing, saying John Jones, when he asked John Jones a question and John Jones said, "I'm not answering your questions." That's going to happen more often. Like, some of these fighters are just not going to want to talk to Luke Thomas. And so I think what they should have done is just done away with that show as it is right now, and just turned it into something different, maybe done something different, a different format or something. But just kind of interjecting Luke Thomas there, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be the same thing, and I agree with Fred. We're probably going to be missing out on a lot of content, and they're probably going to see a dip in their ratings. Not because of Luke Thomas, but because of what Helwani did and how he did his job. And Luke Thomas is just a completely different guy.
On the same token, just slightly switching gears a little bit, did anybody watch Ariel and Chael Sonnen's thing?
Yeah, I started already. I didn't.
I just seen a little clip on Twitter, and it looked a lot like the ESPN type vibe, where they're in different spots on cameras, and they're Ariel. One of the questions I seen that was on the little Twitter thing was, does the UFC need Conor McGregor more than McGregor needs the UFC? And Ariel seemed to be arguing the point that that the UFC needed McGregor more.
Okay, you saw a clip. Is it kind of like First Take? Like they just argue points back and forth?
Yeah, but they wasn't even in the same building though.
Right. Neither's First Take. First Take. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. That once in a while they'll be at the same place in like New York, but like Stephen A. Smith hangs out on the West Coast a lot, so he'll be in LA a lot, or they'll even switch. So a lot of times they look like they're in the same room. They're really not. For a while, I
haven't watched First Take it forever.
Yeah, I've only seen I watch clips on like certain things on like YouTube. That's about it.
I keep mistaking it for whatever the fuck Shannon and
Undisputed
dude. Yeah. It's because that's how fucking First Take used to be. I'm so fucking old. I used to watch when it was fuck with
Stephen
and
Woody. Yeah. Woody, right, dude. I forgot Woody used to do that shit.
I'm fucking old, man. That was like when it was called Cold Pizza and shit. Like,
what happened to that dude?
Woody's still around, I think. I think he's still a personality on ESPN. I know he lived, if that's still a thing.
Right, yeah, it is a thing. You're right. I haven't seen it in a while. I did hear about Tony Reality though. Did you hear about him? His wife, they were expecting twins, and one of them didn't make it.
Oh.
Yeah, man, that was a sad fucking story. It's a sad fucking story, dude. Like they were like one of them didn't make it. The other one's healthy and fine and everything, but like it's really like he was talking about like they had him on. I think I saw a clip. It was from today or from yesterday, something like that, where they they're around the horn. If you get the most points, you get like the last take or whatever the day. The winner gave it up to him. He's like, you know what? He's something like I'm still feeling the Father's Day vibe. Tony, I'll give you my time. And he talked about what it felt like and all the support they've gotten. He was really appreciative of it. And then he ended it somewhat with, but we can't be putting kids in cages. And went off on that a little bit, but yeah, that's the guy. That guy's a host of Around the Horn.
Yeah.
So shout out to that dude, and damn, I mean, goddamn. But yeah, I think Woody's still a writer in Denver, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. That's where he was from.
Yeah. So I mean, all right. So as far as the MMA hour is concerned, with it's going to be a way different show that Ariel's doing. The MMA hour is probably going to stay like relatively the same, because they probably still have the access to all the fighters that Ariel did, because they were on the show so many times. So they'll be fine. It's just going to be a different vibe with Luke Thomas. So it'll be interesting.
Completely different.
Yeah. Do you think? Are you still with your theory, Fred, that because Ariel left the MMA hour that he's going to take like a hit?
Absolutely. I think the MMA hour is pretty much what made Ariel Helwani's whole star shine. I mean, I guess he did have the shit where he would go to the event, he would do like the little walk arounds. Those things were pretty popular.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, look, man, it's a strange thing, but it's true. Where did we all first see Conor McGregor at? I mean,
MMA hour, yeah.
I saw him on the MMA hour.
Yeah.
Eating dry blueberries in that little fucking squallop in Ireland. That's where it like all started, man. Like that was a cornerstone of this sport, to be fucking quite frank. And it was one of those deals where it wasn't just Ariel, it wasn't just that site, it wasn't just the fighters, it was all that together.
Right.
Ariel leaving, it fucks it all up. It's like a fucking super group losing one of the singers or something. It's all a wreck now. They're not going to be able to do it without him, and he's not going to be able to do it without them.
I can't with this, man. I don't agree with you, Fred. I actually saw Conor McGregor on MMA Junkie when he was still at Cage Warriors, and they talked to him a couple times before he got into the UFC. Ariel was more of a dick rider. Once someone got popular, then that's when he jumped all over them, and then that's how he made his name.
He's not wrong.
So to me, I hold MMA Junkie way more in a higher rank than the MMA Hour, and just for that, because they always try to get the up and comers, the guys that people don't know about, and they talk about that. When was the last time Ariel had somebody from, I don't know, the Contender Series that wasn't known? It hasn't happened.
I don't watch
when was the last time that he had somebody from Tough, the Tough Series? Never happened. MMA Junkie, since the Tough series started, they've always had somebody writing for them, doing like kind of a review and kind of like what's going on, the happenings of the week, what they didn't show on the show, kind of like behind the scenes. So they've always been more to me like the hardcore people. And to me, Ariel's more like the cookie cutter, like exactly where he's at now, like the fan that just turns on ESPN and just wants background noise, and that they can have some hot topics to talk about with their semi, interested fans in MMA, so they can sound smart. That's how I see him.
That's cute. That's cute, Jesus. And thank God that my fucking connection sucks here, so I got to miss about half of what you said there. But let me rebuttal the fucking small parts that I did fucking catch. Now, I get that you might have seen Conor first on MMA Junkie, but that was you and 42 other people. Check the fucking numbers from the interview you watched, and then check the numbers from Ariel's first interview on the goddamn MMA Hour, and you'll see what fucking interview broke that little Irish prick out. That's it. That's it. There might be more of a base to the hardcores, but at the end of the day, the MMA Hour, look, the numbers speak for themselves. Look at the fucking YouTube numbers. Go back and look. Like, that dude and that show get more numbers than anything else in the MMA sphere by like triple or quadruple, including Junkie. Look, don't get me wrong. I get what you're saying to a degree, and Junkie does good work. So do quite a few other people, quite frankly. But that fucking dude in the MMA Hour, you look at the numbers on YouTube, it smashes everything else.
Yeah, everything. No, you're right. You're right. And you're right. I thought for sure that the him leaving, and I still think that for sure that Helwani leaving it leaves a kind of a spot for like Junkie to take over a little bit, right? Because I mean, Gigi's been doing this shit for a long time. I think it's his brother, right? They've been doing that show for a long time, but they do it every day. Like, it's every day with those guys, right? Like, you would think they'd be more popular. So there's got to be something to what Fred's saying, that it's that guy that made it popular, that helped make the MMA Hour so popular, and it made him popular enough to fucking get a gig at ESPN.
Well, and it was the guest too. I mean, I don't know who booked all those pricks, but I'm sure that Junkie gets, a lot of people get good guests too, but you got to give that fucker credit. He got pretty much the biggest names that you could possibly get in this sport week after fucking week. Like I said, I've never been a massive Ariel Helwani fan, but I watch the MMA Hour damn near every week. And quite frankly, look, I didn't love the fact that it was 5 or 6 hours either, but I got to hand it to Ariel. It is kind of smart in the fact that I've never once sat down and listened to 5 hours of that fucking silly dude straight, ever. But throughout the week, I would watch different interviews. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would watch, man, and I would just go back to that fucking podcast that's 5 hours long, and slowly throughout the week watch the interviews that I wanted to watch. So there was something to it. The length of it and being able to come back and get rewatches out of it and shit, man. Like, the cute prick had something. And whatever he's going to have on ESPN, I don't think it's going to do nowhere near the numbers. I honestly don't.
And we'll find. You know what? I think the first one will do good, like really good numbers. I don't think it'll hold.
No, it's not the same thing either. Right. Does Ariel have a show that he's working on though?
I don't know.
I think he might be. If you go back and look at his Twitter, Eddie. You're a crafty fucker, or he blocked you. You can't.
I can go somewhere else. Hold on, I got you.
I was gonna say here. Wait a minute. He hasn't blocked me yet. I'll go to it.
All right.
I was just looking at it too, because he said some shit that makes it seem like maybe he is doing another show. Okay, let's see here.
Well, he's supposedly going to be a part of like something where they do like a pre-show and a post-show. He's going to be doing a lot of on-camera stuff for them. So, I mean, it could be a lot of other things like that he might be working on.
Hold on. Check it out. Listen, this is the tweet. Now for my international friends, patience, promise, which is weird. In the meantime, I remind you that my show on Monday, all 4/5 hours of it, which debuts this Monday, will be free and available to the world on video and audio platforms. Video will be live too. Love you. I mean, that's a new tweet that he tweeted today. So he said,
live
this Monday, 4 or 5 hours. So maybe the cute little prick's got something up his sleeve because I'm telling you, man, if that motherfucker don't do what he's been doing every Monday with every fucking name in this sport, he will not keep that same credibility. It's fucking impossible. The only reason he really has it is because of that fucking show. Like, if you no longer do that, we no longer care. Why would we?
Okay, hold up. So, I just saw the tweet. So, he's gonna have his own show again. Basically, it just won't be part of MMA fighting.
Which will be, I'm assuming he's gonna try to make
the same show.
Yeah, he said 4 to 5 hours. He's got to have the same idea.
Damn, talk about eat a fat dick, Luke Thomas. You ain't getting none of this shit.
Now that'll make things.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. We always got something to talk about. So let's have this conversation now.
Yeah.
If Ariel is doing this on Monday, live, does Ariel now become direct competition for MMA fighting? And did this just become a sour divorce? Is Luke Thomas going to have to throw Ariel a beating?
I hope he does. It'd be fun as fucking for me to watch. But no, dude, fucking wow, that's incredible. It's very Helwani. And people are gonna get mad at me for saying that. What I mean is this: he's a sleazy bastard. You guys want, whatever he plays on fucking video on TV and all that shit. I'm surprised any of you assholes believe it. 100% surprised you guys believe it, and then not surprised because you've been watching this shit forever. This dude's a fucking sleaze bag. He's a sleaze bag. Here's the thing, and I'm not saying that he's just a bad person. It's what you have to do to get to the top where he is, right? To get to where he got to and where he's at now, you can't be a fucking honest, nice person. You know what I mean? There's no honest, nice anybody in media like that much anymore that's big. You know what I mean? You got to fucking lie, cheat your way to that shit sometimes. So, but that's such a Hawaiian thing to do. I'm going to go away, guys, and then I'm going to go to ESPN. But follow me there. But tune in on my Monday show. These motherfuckers ain't taking my shit. Fuck a Luke Thomas, motherfucker. That's exactly what he did.
It's kind of shiesty, man, to be honest with you. Like, what the fuck, bro?
And people are going to be like, what do you expect him to do? Go to ESPN. Now he's free country, dude. Go do your thing. You want to go back and create another MMA hour? I don't know what the fuck you're gonna call it, but you're gonna create another one and start it all over. Hey, go for it. But drop the nice guy act. You're doing it because you're an asshole. Come on, 100%. So
what's funny is it might not work, man. It might be something to this whole MMA fighting thing. Motherfuckers might ride with Luke.
Maybe. I doubt it. It's such a dick rider fucking sport that fucking it won't happen that way.
Here's a question, because I know out of the three of us here, the only one that's actually a fan of Ariel's show is Fred. Fred, are you going to follow Helwani and watch his new show?
It's a pretty good question, man. I'll tune in. And listen, here's the fucking truth. It depends on the guests.
Right, it always does.
Listen, if he's got fucking John Jones on his first week, color me there.
Yeah.
How about this though? He has John Jones his first week, and Luke Thomas doesn't get John Jones ever. So now we see exactly the type of colors that Ariel's gonna do, right? Because this is the type of thing that you would need to make sure that if you're Ariel Helwani, that you're gonna survive this transition, right? You make sure that the competition or your old, place cannot get the content that you could have gotten before. This is the only play he has right now at this point.
The caliber of people that you're able to get. Yeah, man. If he does that, that is interesting. That will be interesting to see if he really goes like for the throat and tries to do his own show in the same time slot, and grab up all the best guests that he can every week. That's going to be very, very interesting.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it. I'm telling you guys right now, he's going to do it. Why? Because that's what he should do if he wants to remain where he's at. So, I mean, maybe there's something, maybe he knew it right all along, right? Like ESPN's not going to let me work with somebody else. I'll create my own shit. Let's see, on YouTube, if you get a certain amount of views and subscribers and shit like that, you can get monetized. He won't. He won't get paid a full paycheck, but he'll get the ad money. You know what I mean?
Well, he almost needs it just to keep his name relevant. I'm telling you, man.
That might be the only. That might be the only reason.
Right. Just to kind of keep himself there, because I don't think this ESPN Plus gig with Chael Sonnen is going to keep him a fucking star.
Hell no, it's not, because no one. You have to subscribe to that shit. You have to pay for that.
Right.
Like he basically went. People are gonna be like, wait a minute. I used to watch and listen to your shit for free. Now I gotta pay you to watch your stupid shit. Nah, fuck all that. So what are they gonna do now? Go to the free show again, right?
It's a completely different.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like he's not interviewing fighters; he's talking.
You're right, but it's also how he markets this whole new show, right? If he markets it right and brings all the fans, like let's say a Fred, over to this new show, then he makes that exactly what ESPN bought. I think mostly ESPN bought a person that has a lot of followers, an influencer, you might say, right? Kind of like a lot of restaurants, they pay influencers to go to their restaurants, give them free food so they can hopefully take a picture and bring all that, all that fan base to their place. Right, so I think this is what they're doing with Helwani. So it makes sense that he would do something to bring all those eyes to where he's at. So, hey, game on. We'll see how it turns out. I just have a lot more respect for Luke Thomas in this position.
Yeah, and it's probably smart for Luke Thomas to cut it down to 2 hours too. Like it's really smart, actually, if you think about it now. And like knowing the full picture, what's about to go down with Helwani's new show, and then the new Monday show he's gonna be doing, cutting it down to 2 hours probably the smart move.
Should have been an hour. So you could have actually put it in his face, like I can do the interviews in 1 hour and actually be the MMA hour.
Yeah, exactly. That'd been great. Cloud on the YouTube comments. Shout out to Uncle Hank. He's hanging out. Cloud says, are asking, why does Eddie hate the nose? Also, I like Luke Thomas rules. Fuck the haters, LOL. I can't stand Helwani for one reason and one reason only. He still insists on calling himself an MMA journalist when he's not. He's not. If you pay attention to what journalism actually is and what he does, it's two completely different things. Okay? He is a promoter. He promotes. He's not a promoter in the sense of Dana White. He promotes MMA stuff. Like, just like Jesse was saying not too long ago, he only talks to the big names. He doesn't talk to any tough fighters. He doesn't talk to any Dana White Contender Series guys, right? He only talks to John Jones and McGregor's and the not even that much for McGregor. McGregor apparently got to pay him to fucking do this shit these days. Hey, get your money, dude. But shit like that. But he calls himself an MMA journalist, and then all that shit comes out that he was getting paid by the UFC when he was on Fox. Like, your paycheck says Zuffa, dude. You can't bullshit that. You know what I mean? And you're gonna be covering the promotion that you're working for. That's not honest. That's not journalism. All right. You're MMA media. You're a talking head at best. All right. You're not a journalist. Cut the shit.
Can we just call him TMZ at this point? Just call him TMZ.
No. T Wood took that. Took that.
Speaking of that, man, I had mentioned this on the Loudmouth podcast a few weeks ago when this news had first broke. What's up with Chael Sonnen even being involved with this? Don't that motherfucker work? Don't he work for the competition?
Right, but here's the thing. That's the weird part. Is that was one question I was talking to somebody about. I said, look, is this ESPN Plus, this show they're going to be doing an MMA show or a UFC show?
No, it's a UFC show.
No, it's an MMA show.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's the important. Here's the thing. That's the important part. is whether it's defined as an MMA show or described as an MMA show or a UFC show.
Hold on.
Okay. Wait, Fred. Here's the thing that you have to understand. ESPN is entering into a deal with the UFC to promote their stuff, right? Their events. They're going to have live events and stuff. So now ESPN has to come up with content so that people that are on watching said show or watching said channel can understand what they're about to watch later on. That means you need the talking heads. You need to have more people out there that are knowledgeable in the sport and have shows kind of like First Take, kind of like all the golf shows that they have, all the soccer shows they have. They have all these shows so they can get you to watch whatever show they want, whatever sporting event is coming up, right? Even if it's some stupid ass thing like darts, on ESPN Ocho, they still dedicate a half hour to an hour block before the event to talk about the event. This is exactly what they're doing. They're building up their people so they have these talking heads explaining what MMA is to the masses. It's smart.
What in the fuck does that have to do with them hiring Chael Sonnen, who works for the fucking competition?
Because if it's a UFC show, they're only talking UFC. That's an issue. If they're only
talking UFC,
right? But if they're going to be talking about MMA as a whole, or at least say they're going to, then I get that.
Wait a minute.
What do you mean then?
Are you under the fucking impression, Jesus, that they are going to be promoting Bellator events on this cute little show of theirs?
Wait. There's a difference between promoting and talking about. Okay.
Okay. Fair, Jesus. You're sneaky like a politician. Do you think they're going to fucking mention Bellator on this fucking show?
Yeah.
I do not. So you think they're going? Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe they'll mention it. Do you think they will cover Bellator? Do you think they're going to talk? No, you're fucked. No, they will not. I do not think the UFC is going to be okay with them promoting Bellator's heavyweight Grand Prix in any way, shape, or form.
How about this, Fred? I will take up the bet that you didn't pay up, and I will bet my left nut that they will cover other companies on set show.
Your left nut is pretty worthless, but I gotta say that's a decent bet because I don't fucking wait a minute, man.
Fred, it makes sense because you have to think about this. Just because they have the rights, let's say they have the rights to soccer, the MLS, that's US soccer, okay?
That means not
that you're saying wait, listen. You're saying that they're not gonna promote the soccer that's from Europe, the European League or the World Cup or any other soccer because they have nothing to do with that. They are being paid to have MLS soccer matches on their channel. No, they're gonna promote everything. They're gonna do a heavy push to the MLS stuff that they have on their show, on their programming. That's but cute. They're gonna talk about everything in general.
That's cute what you're doing right now. So
go look on ESPN.
Do you think they will be able to show footage from a Bellator event?
Yeah, because it's free.
It'll be 8 hours later.
Yeah.
No, are you guys fucking high?
Dude, I don't know if
they would have to share their fucking their. They can't show shit from that fucking company on ESPN. ESPN had to buy the rights to fucking the UFC, right?
Wait. But they bought the rights. The UFC did not actually get into a partnership with them. ESPN bought rights to show their stuff. That means the UFC has no say in what content they put out. It's ESPN, man. Fox Sports was a channel that nobody even had or heard of before. Nobody even gave a damn about up until the UFC started doing their thing with them.
Nobody gives a damn about Bellator.
Nobody gives a... How many hardcore MMA fans are tuning into ESPN right now to get their MMA content?
None yet.
Not many.
None yet.
Okay. But what... Okay, now tell me this.
Like another 3 months or some shit, man. Like
till January 19.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so wouldn't it be wise for ESPN to start making a show where they start talking about everything MMA related to get everybody used to the idea that we're going to have MMA on this channel, and we're going to give you all the information possible? It just makes sense.
I don't know though. Wouldn't I get? Well, look, only time will tell. I feel like the UFC and Dana White would be like, "Come on, guys, what the fuck we doing?
Okay,
Why the
wait.
fuck are we fucking throwing them a bone? We got Chael Sonnen, he's talking about the fucking heavyweight Grand Prix, and Michael fucking Chandler and MVP and the like. I thought we was promoting the UFC and the ESPN and our fucking partnership.
Well, let me ask you this:
and it is a partnership, shitbird.
If the UFC had complete say in how this deal went down and what content. No, but what kind of people and content they had on the channel, do you really think Helwani would have this job?
Yeah, well, hey, Zeus, every once in a while you do make a pretty good point.
Yeah.
Good point, I suppose. Well, I guess that, okay, fine, fuck it. Maybe you're right, because I suppose both of those pricks are two people that DW would probably not necessarily want promoting his product right now. One, he has a bad history with, and the other works for the fucking opposition.
Yeah, you're right.
Doesn't seem like the smartest plan in the world.
You're right, but also ESPN is their own entity. I don't think they're gonna try to. I don't think they need the UFC, is what I'm saying. You know, if the UFC didn't make this deal, it's not like ESPN was gonna go under. You know, so I think UFC needs more of ESPN than ESPN needs of UFC. So I think they're just going to do whatever they want. They're going to fill out their content however they want, and the UFC is just going to have to deal with it.
Fair enough. It's like the UFC's the bad bitch that finally got with like a rich ball player, and now they got to know their role and shit. Like,
pretty much.
Yep.
To do what I say now, we are letting Ariel and Chael talk about the sport, and they're going to talk about Bellator. Ooh, and the PFL. How about that?
And you're gonna like it. No,
Dana White's probably like, this is some fucking bullshit, Jack.
Do you think little by little,
fuckers promoting Bellator? What the fuck?
Yeah, do you think little by little Dana White's probably like, I can't do this shit anymore? It's like one of these days I'm gonna say fuck this shit.
Honestly, I genuinely think that's where all the Zuffa boxing shit's coming from.
Yeah.
I think DW sees the writing on the wall and he's like, let me slide over here and start building something for what this is what. Because look, I do genuinely believe that Dana White is the combat sports fan that we all believe him to be. He might be a bit of a shrewd businessman and a fucking full-blown liar at times, but I do think that he lives and breathes this shit. I don't think you're ever going to see Dana White go and, you know, run a restaurant or be in a business suit. Like he's going to be in the fight game, and he's definitely not going to do MMA for no fucking body else. So I think Dana White is definitely heading for boxing in the short or mid to long run.
Here's a question we get on the YouTube comments: is you guys thoughts on UFC pay-per-view? I used to buy between 8 to 11 pay-per-views a year. I probably buy between 2 and 4 now. Way too much now. You pay for Fight Pass, Fox Sports package, and then raising pay-per-view. It's asking a lot, and I consider myself a pretty hardcore fan. But here's the thing. So,
okay, wait.
29th. What?
Out of all of us, how many of us have stopped buying pay-per-views like a lot?
Stop buying them?
Yeah, like I haven't. I still buy pretty much all of them. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I'm that same dickhead.
Okay. I'm sorry. I should adjust this for Eddie. Okay. Yeah. How many of us are watching them on the day of, one way or another, legally or illegally?
Allegedly.
Okay, all of us, right?
Here's the thing. The only way I won't watch them is if I got something to do that day. But at that point, like, my big problem with the UFC pay-per-views is that they try so hard to have a fucking belt on the line for every single one that they start making up phony-ass fucking belts. And it kind of like, I'm like, all right, whatever. And like I've skipped a couple pay-per-views, like completely skipped them.
But I'll tell you, I have found myself going to a bar more often than I did before. Maybe to the one, you know, like Raquel Pennington, you know, getting a title shot. That when I went to a bar, you know, there are pay-per-views that I think we all understand are just not on par of what we're used to, but we still ingest them in one way or another. But I think we're gonna get to a point where the UFC is going to figure out that we're not going to just take everything they give us. You know, we're not going to keep getting, you know, a one title fight, interim title fight at the top with a bunch of like, you know, 7, 8, you know, 10 ranked guys or unranked guys underneath that, you know, kind of like a Bellator. You know, that's what we go to Bellator for. We go to whatever crazy fight they have at the top and a bunch of, you know, up and comers or maybe semi famous guys from Bellator on the undercard. That's what we get from Bellator. The UFC is the top of the food chain, right? That's why a lot of people were so upset when CM Punk was on the pay-per-view, because a lot of people didn't want to pay for that crap, you know? So I think they're going to start finding out that a lot of us hardcore fans are going to start really voting with our dollars.
The more that the shit, like title shots and shit, don't make any sense, the more this turns into boxing, because boxing went through the same shit. They were just giving whoever the fuck a title shot whenever they wanted to, just because it was selling a story. People stopped buying pay-per-views and shit. But I mean, look, the hardcore is still gonna watch. I mean, we still watch, at least watch.
Listen. Let me break this down for you. Yeah. I got some good news, some bad news. Okay. here's the good news. Pay-per-view's dying.
Yep.
Okay. 5-10 years from now, pay-per-view will be done, dead. Period. Maybe quicker than that, to be honest with you. Listen, Vince McMahon is a smart motherfucker. And the WWE has been milking that pay-per-view cow for a month of fucking Sundays. There's a reason why they jumped ship. And do you want me to tell you boys why they jumped ship? Eddie, you Mexican cocksucker with all the allegedlys, you're the reason. And I'll tell you another thing. I have no problem facing you out right here on the interwebs because it ain't just you. Yeah. Me and fucking Jesus are the only two dickheads that actually still pay U.S. currency to watch these things.
Yeah.
Everybody else pilfers them for free because it's easy as fucking pie. I did it on accident for the Triple G fight one time on Twitter. Click the fucking link, boom, 1080p right on my fucking thing there. What the fuck, right? Listen, it is really, really easy to stream these fucking events. I don't fucking, but believe me, most people fucking do. Yep. And the prices of pay-per-view are going up. They're trying to do way too many. You know, everybody's in an economic bind these days, and TV is the one thing that we're all paying less for.
We're all cutting
newsflash, newsflash, dummies. We don't even pay for cable no more. You know what I mean? We're going through YouTube and fucking Sling and shit like that. This shit is dying. Eventually, it's going to be some little pay service that they're already kind of doing it now. This whole ESPN Plus, the Fight Pass, what the WWE is doing with their service. You can now get HBO.
Right.
From a bunch of different places that you couldn't get it before. You can get just HBO, you know what I mean, for like 10, 15 a month. That's where we're headed. Pay-per-view is just about finished. Who does pay-per-view anymore?
No.
Boxing?
Boxing does it. MMA does it.
And porn. And let me tell you something. If you still buy porn on pay-per-view,
something wrong with you.
You're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
You're a big time loser because porn is free fucking everywhere.
Hey, man, how are you going to support these women that are hard working for you, huh? You got to support them somehow.
They better go support themselves.
No,
dog world out there.
I'll even tell you this, though.
She eating some.
Even porn has switched over. I don't know if you guys have seen any of these high-level porn women. They now have their services where it's only paid services.
Do tell, Jesse.
Their content. No, you can only get their content when you go to like some website where you have to pay like, you know, $1, $10, whatever they charge for you a month. Okay. So even
so porn stars doing like individualized subscription services just for their shit.
Exactly. So he already understands that now you have to find a different way to get customers, which is you have to individualize it for you. You know,
if you do that, you're a fucking loser. If you go pay $10 for JulesJordan.com, you're an asshole.
Who? What's that?
Whoever the fuck.
I'm gonna start Googling.
I know. Fred's got a list of names over there, but like Fred said,
I'm done.
I got my old faithful picks, man. Oh shit, I got a couple names. Jeez. But
what Fred was saying is right.
Yeah,
WWE is on the forefront. That, you know, when that whole thing Fight Pass started, we all assumed that, you know, UFC was going to do what WWE did. You know, charge us $15 a month. We get pay-per-views, we get events. Bam, we're all happy. They didn't do that. They're behind the times still. And I think that they're slowly realizing that they've got to move forward with the time. And now they're behind WWE. WWE has a big fan base, you know, and it's grown pretty damn big to the point where Fox said goodbye UFC, hello WWE, hello SmackDown.
Well,
I mean that tells you something.
And look, man, at the end of the day, look, NBA, NFL, goddamn NHL, goddamn soccer right now all over my TV. I can't stand soccer. I can't cut my TV on without seeing Portugal versus whoever the fuck kicking their little goofy ball around. It's all fucking free on TV, man. Nobody pays for any of this shit. The fucking combat sports have been fucking juicing this tree for a long time. They've been lucky, but this shit is going to end before too long. Pay-per-view
but
is
It's
dying.
got to.
You're right, Fred. Pay-per-view is gone, and I think we're moving to that model of you pay for what you want. Because, like, for me, you know, if I'm a baseball fan here in California, I couldn't watch the Dodgers play for a while. I think I can now. One of the channels or one of the cable companies did it, but for a while they had the whole block thing here in California, which is stupid. So now, now baseball has their own app, their own channel where you can watch any game, any place.
There you go.
So everything's getting so small, you know, where you can just like Fred was saying, you can pick and choose what you want, pay a couple bucks a month, bam, you've got everything you need. You don't need all these packages and things like that. And I think pay-per-view is the same way, because like what Fred was saying, you go looking through the pay-per-view, it's maybe a movie or two that has barely come out in the theater, and then it's UFC, and that's about it. Maybe some weird boxing thing that you never even heard of.
Yeah,
you know?
man. There used to be like comedy specials and shit, but all that's on Netflix now under another umbrella. Like that's where all this is headed.
The internet has changed how this game works.
Oh, completely revolutionized it.
Yeah.
Like I said, at the end of the day, streaming. At the end of the day, if you get it, if we cut it right down to the get down, streaming kill pay-per-view. The internet and streaming kill pay-per-view because it's just too easy now. Like I legit got that Triple G Canelo fight on accident on Twitter.
But, yeah.
Like I clicked a link thinking it was going to take me to another link, and zap, it fucking like magically appeared on my screen, the whole full screen.
Yeah, I watched.
What the fuck?
I watched Triple G Canelo on Instagram. Someone fucking posted it on live Instagram.
There you go. So it's that shit happens all the time, man. You can just stay tuned to Twitter. The UFC tweets the finishes from their Twitter account sometimes. Like if they're
shit, I was in California. I was in California at Buffalo Wild Wings. This isn't the same time. This wasn't when I competed there, Jesse, but it was like a different time. And I watched it on Instagram, and it was fucking hilarious. The guy next to me goes, "Oh, you watch a Triple G fight?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, who's winning?" And I'm like, "I think Triple G's taking this shit right now." He's like, "Oh, fuck." This dude, I didn't even know, huddled up next to me watching this shit on my phone for the next like 6 rounds. It was funny shit.
You know, it's funny, since we've been talking about porn and shit, now that I think about it, watching the fights on Twitter like that, just watching a bunch of finishes is kind of like just watching a bunch of cum shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're watching porn, it's just the good stuff. You don't really need all the fluff, right?
Hey.
I don't care what they did in round 1. I just want to see where the load went.
And then,
if I hit the fucking finish, I'm kind of cool with it.
Yo, and then if it was a boring ass fight, you missed it.
Yeah, who cares, right? Don't even tweet it. Fuck it.
God damn, dude, things are gonna change real fast.
Well, look at what Bellator does, right? Do you see what Bellator does? They do kind of a wrap up.
Make you wait 4 to 8 hours to watch the shit.
Yeah, whatever. But they do a little wrap up of the whole main card. You know, all the good stuff. You know, and they even talk about every single round and everything, so you could get the whole event basically in like a 5-minute little video.
Right,
it's great.
Right.
Sometimes I actually want to watch the shit. Sometimes, all right, and it's still 4 hours later. We're in one state away. Get your shit together, Belter. What the fuck? All right.
Hey,
I'll be salty about that till they fix that. What are we talking?
Were we gonna talk about the Rampage and Vanderlei?
Do we have to?
Conference that they were gonna have?
Do we really fucking have to? Why are we still doing this, Bellator? I'll tell you why. Because people will still tune in to watch this shit, including us.
Yeah, because we got a Fred Curvy over here that'll watch that.
I'm gonna watch it. Unfortunately,
yeah, you pricks ain't gonna watch that.
No, of course we're watching it. Look, dude, it's gonna be awful, but some old fucking dude is gonna get knocked the fuck out, or 2 old fucking dudes are gonna gas out and just hug each other for how many ever rounds.
Yeah,
one or the other.
I get, yeah. It's like being a fucking addicted to crack, man. Yeah, I will watch. You're right.
It's just
I
like,
don't want to,
hey,
man.
hey man,
I'm going to, but I swear I don't want to.
It's like, all right,
Hey,
man,
hey, you know what?
here's the thing. It's like I got a dime bag. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's just good shit. It's like old school OG Kush. It's like, oh shit, how old school is it? Like, it's really good. It's like, no, it's literally old school. Like, I've had this baggie with me for about 10, 15 years. And you were sitting here going, well, weed's weed.
I mean,
Let's do it.
Since
Weed's
we're
weed.
doing nothing else, I mean, yeah.
Exactly what it's like.
Passing
like,
around, I
is what it is.
suppose. Like,
it's like back in the day, in the fucking 80s and 70s, like there was such a thing as shitty weed, right? Yeah. Now it's all fucking great. Like that's what it is. So
don't you feel bad for kids now? Kids nowadays, they will never know that experience of getting bad weed. You're like, damn, we got oregano, man.
Exactly. The kids these days will never get tricked into smoking oregano ever and burning your lungs.
Hey, Fred,
out.
You know what? I'm gonna plug Fred here real quick.
Yeah.
My crack cocaine for the week was Fred's show. He was off for a week or 2 weeks. Dear God.
Yeah.
For me, it felt like 2 weeks.
It was.
But see, there you go. Yeah. Finally got my fix today. So go listen to that podcast.
Yeah, thanks,
great.
man. We had a lot of shit to talk about. We've been off for a couple weeks, and the fucking world's on fire. So, like,
yeah, dude. Hey, for those that don't know, because we talk to Fred off air all the time and shit, and Twitter and everything, on DMs and whatnot, and dude was itching for a conversation.
Yeah,
I remember you were like, dude, it's fucking goddamn it, we just want to do a show already.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there was so much shit going on. The fucking Space Force with Trump and him meeting.
Well, we're all signing up, right?
I'm signing up.
Are we all signing up?
You kidding me? Are you kidding me? Space Force? I'm in. I'm fucking in, dude.
What the fuck does it mean? What
I don't know.
Fuck are we talking about?
But if I get a uniform with Space Force written on it, I'm fucking in.
Bro, I couldn't believe he said that. Like the sixth branch of the military, we're going to take to the galaxies. Okay,
my
Trump.
favorite part.
Okay, big baby. That's what's up, dog.
I was watching this shit, and he goes, "We're gonna create a Space Force. It's gonna be the biggest Space Force ever." But then I was already giggling at that point. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then he goes, "They'll be separate but equal." I fucking fell off the couch when he said that shit. I was like, "Oh, the irony! This motherfucker."
Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not hip to some shit. I'm not a very smart military mind. Maybe there's some shit we can do from space that I'm just not aware of yet. But like, I don't even know how we can attack somebody from space. Like, what does that even mean, bro? That is right up there with Clinton saying it depends on what your definition of is. Just idiotic moments of what did he just say? Is that the leader of the free world that just said we're creating a space force?
Dude, I was a kid when he said that shit, and I was like confused because like I know what is means. The fuck do you think it means, you old fuck? Like what the hell? Anyway, but yeah, that shit's trippy shit. But all right, let's talk about that.
Tune into Fred's show. It's awesome. 2 hours of goodness. Yeah.
But let's talk about real quick about the cards this weekend. There's 3 of them actually. Well, 1 jiu-jitsu card and then 2 MMA cards. The one going down on Thursday night is tomorrow night. It's Professional Fighters League. It's PFL2. Some of the names you guys are recognized from here. Thiago Tavares is on here. Actually, no, I don't think he was UFC, but
he was.
Was he? Okay. Yeah, Thiago Tavares. Vinny Magalhães is on here. Who else we got? Brandon
Magalhães. Why'd you say his name?
Magalhães.
The 2 guys.
Is it Magalhães?
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never found one. I haven't met 2 people that say it the same way.
Fair enough.
Everyone's fucking off. So I'm like,
a real funky fucking Latin twist on it.
I go back and forth all the time. So I'm like, whatever. Brandon Halsey, you guys remember he was UFC, I think, for a minute. Sean O'Connell, the radio DJ from Utah. Jason Hyde's on his card against Efrain Escudero. And Kayla Harrison, the judo chick.
She's an Ohio broad.
Yeah, she's making her debut against 3 and 4 Brittany Elkin, who I think is I think I've seen her do some jiu-jitsu before, so I don't 100% remember seeing her fight.
Her ass fucking stomped.
Maybe Kayla Harrison's a big broad, dude. She's a fucking
I'm saying Kayla Harrison is going to stomp that girl.
She should. Wasn't
her judo pedigree is probably it's better than Ronda's, right?
Yeah,
she won a gold.
She got gold.
Yeah, that bitch is an animal.
Then Brian Foster against Ramsey Nijam. And then Will Brooks in the PFL from the UFC all the way down to the fucking PFL.
Yeah, that's interesting.
against Luis Firmino. So, like I'm a Will Brooks fan, man. I like that dude, so I hope he does well. Then,
Well, just remind everybody what they're fighting for. Basically, they fight this season. This is all preseason stuff, and eventually they enter into a tournament that lasts like 3 months or something.
Right.
And then at the end, whoever wins gets $1 million each one in their division.
Totally worth it. I mean, fuck yeah, dude, go get that money. Shit. All right, and then on Saturday morning, early as shit.
Hey now.
This is a breakfast card for you there, Fred. Like early breakfast. So online prelims, UFC Fight Night Singapore at a Singapore Indoor Stadium. Online prelims is all FightPass, by the way. All of it's FightPass. So to say online prelims is stupid. But the prelims kick off at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time, 1:30 a.m. Pacific time.
Woo! 4:30 in the morning. Just had to pull it all night on Friday.
And then main card for you starts at 8 a.m. Go get yourself a breakfast burrito and kick back, watch some fights. And 5 a.m. for us, for the West Coast. So that's interesting. But the main event, of course, Cowboy, Donald Cerrone against Leon Edwards. Vincent Prue taking on Tyson Pedro. Jessica Rose Clark coming in against Jessica I. Li Jianliang against Daichi Abe. I'm going to say Daichi because Daichi sounds funny. I Love My Bitches is back. Teruto Ishihara against Peter Yan. Felipe Rantes against Song Jadong. Jesus Christ. Rolando Dai against Shane Young. Song Keenan against Hector Aldana. And see who else you guys do we fucking know. And a bunch of like, I hate to say no-namers. So, but Cowboy Leon Edwards. Cowboy's been playing this shit up like this whole week about, well, now I'm pissed off because Leon Edwards is talking shit. Like, Cowboy, you don't need to get mad about a fight. Well, you fucking just show up to fight every time anyway. So it's kind of a weird trying to sell shit talks. That's kind of weird. And then the Vincent Prue against Tyson Pedro. I think Tyson Pedro is gonna fucking show out a little bit. Although OSP's kind of surprised the last few fights. So not a lot to watch on here, but it's dude, it's a fucking FightPass card. You're in the West Coast, get out, watch the main card, some breakfast. You can watch the whole thing with some breakfast there, Fred. So
shit, fucking that prelim started a little early, Jack. I was kind of tripping. I thought the prelims were starting at 8 and the main card started at like 11 or some shit. God damn, main card starts at 8. That's fucking rough, Jack.
Right. All right, and then on Saturday or I want to say it's on Sunday. 24th is Sunday, right? Yeah, Sunday yeah. EBI. So all you jiu-jitsu guys, jiu-jitsu fans, it's the ladies are in the jiu-jitsu tournament, and then the combat jiu-jitsu I think is 4 dudes. So
any names a novice like me would notice? Any big huge names
that you would know, dude? I highly doubt it.
Gary Tonins or any superstar type characters on there?
No, you know what? Let me pull up the fucking card while we're fucking figure it out. How is the Eddie Bravo invitation? Okay, so 16 female bantamweight, so it's like decent sized chicks. Yeah. Richard Martinez, you probably wouldn't know that one. I think Brooke Mayo's on this card.
I'm not hip.
He's on this card. Yeah, nobody huge to be honest with you. Not gonna lie. But regardless, if you're a jiu-jitsu fan, fucking tune in for this shit. Plus it's on FightPass too, I think. Either FightPass and also Inch by Inch TV. And I think it might also be pay-per-view because the last one was also pay-per-view.
Not I think it's FightPass. Or you can wait a couple. I think you can wait a couple weeks and then it goes up on Eddie Bravo's YouTube channel.
Yeah, he does that. He's cool about that. Yeah, you're right. It's on FightPass and Inch. If you don't have FightPass, it's on Inch by Inch TV. So either way, a lot of fucking shit to watch this weekend for sure. And then we have your rankings, right, Jesse? We'll talk about that, and then we'll just shoot the shit about whatever we want.
Okay.
We'll have some fun with that. All right, rankings. So here's 145. So again, if you guys haven't tuned in the last couple of weeks, Jesse came up with his own point system to rank fighters, right? So let's see. I have your rankings there. Let me pull up the UFC rankings. So if you want, just real quick, explain for people that don't know exactly how you're like figuring this out.
All right, so it's based upon what you do in the UFC. So nothing outside the UFC matters. If you get kicked out of the UFC and you come back, you start fresh. And basically for knocking out or submitting, finishing the fight, you get 3 points. Decision, unanimous decision, 2 points. And if you barely win that fight, 1 point. And then it just goes by if you get more than 3 fights in a row and you're on a streak, for every fight after that, you get an extra point. And yeah, so are you going to put it up on the screen so people can see so we can?
Oh, I could do that. Yeah, that's a good point. It's gonna take me a minute. I pulled it up on my phone because like fucking it's easier to get to it. But as usual, champions are champions. They immediately get up there. But you have Max Holloway at 40 points.
Right, because he's been kicking ass, finishing fights.
Right. So if he wasn't a champion, he'd be number one for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, that makes sense. All right. What do you think on just real quick while I'm still pulling this up? What are your thoughts on rankings these days? Like, do they even matter anymore with fucking Colby getting an interim belt shot and now he gets to fight Tyron Woodley?
Well, I think if I look at my thing, I think Colby wasn't too far down on the list either.
No?
I think he had a pretty good 22 points. The next top guy was 24, Damian Maia. And Kamal Usman with 23 points. So, I mean, he's already pretty far at the top, with 22 points. So,
okay.
I mean, it made sense. It still made sense for him to get that shot.
Did you guys see that RDA had to get plastic surgery in his ear?
No. Why?
You see that? Because Colby almost punched it off.
Sweet.
That's
Yeah.
Colby's on the juice.
Yeah. But if you look up on what's it called on like online, you can see that dude was like his ears fucked up. All right, so I hope you guys can see that. I'm trying to make it bigger, but it's not really working for me. If you guys can see, number one there is obviously the champion Max Holloway, and then you got Frankie Edgar at number 1, Brian Ortega number 2, Miles Jury number 3, Ricardo Lamas number 4. Wow, I'm way messing it up. Right, number 4? No, number 5. Wow. All right. Number 6 is Cub Swanson. Number 7, Jeremy Stevens. Number 8, Jose Aldo. Number 9, Chad Skelly. Number 10, Chad Mendez, who hasn't fought in fucking forever. But here are the official ones right here. And it goes Ortega, Aldo, Edgar Stevens, Swanson, Emmett, Bektik. Is Korean Zombie right here? Or is it the other one?
Yep.
Yeah, that's Korean Zombie.
Yeah. Then Renato Moicano and Darren Elkins. So if you look, it's pretty. There's no Elkins in the top 10 here. There's no. I think there's no Emmett, right?
No.
Yeah. So I mean, based on the point system, I mean, shit, Emmett's way down at 43 or 42.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if we were gonna go fairness, these rankings definitely make sense. But what are your thoughts on the difference there between those two?
Who, me?
Yeah.
If you really think about it, I mean, it looks pretty fair. I mean, it's mostly the UFC rankings. What pissed me off about the rankings is it goes by popularity. How does somebody move up? What was it, like 5 or 6 rankings without even fighting? And then somebody drops out of nowhere, winning a fight. Like the rankings just don't make sense in the UFC, and that's because it's all predetermined by a group of people who get to vote on how they feel. And so I wanted to come up with a more fair assessment of everybody's actual potential and what they're doing in the UFC. And to me, it still seems like it's within earshot of kind of being pretty fair of what you would think people would be getting title shots either way. I don't know what Fred thinks about this.
I don't really give a shit about the rankings, all things considered. I mean, I feel like because I agree that the UFC's rankings are trash and completely biased. So I've just kind of given up on that. And, before rankings felt better to me, they instated rankings and the rankings were all bullshit anyways. So, yeah, it's whatever, kind of.
What I also think too is what I forgot to mention was the fact that if someone misses weight, for each pound that they are overweight, that basically gives them a negative point in the fight. So you could potentially have somebody dropping a couple spots in the rankings, even if they win the fight. So to me, it just makes sense because we're always trying to figure out how to balance that whole missing weight and then the ranking system, right? So Darren Till missed weight, won the fight, and advanced in the rankings. But according to my rankings, he actually dropped because he missed by so much. And, you know, it just, to me, it makes it more fair, and it makes it to where the more you finish fights, the higher you get in the rankings, the faster you get in the higher in the rankings. It rewards you for taking higher ranked fights. I mean, to me, it just makes more sense to see where fighters would be at. And then it also gives fighters a fair negotiating tactic. Because let's say you're a number one guy like Kamal Usman or something, and you want to negotiate your contract. You say, hey, I'm a number one guy, but under the UFC rankings, they could just bump you down 3 or 4 spots, and now you're number 5, number 6. And now you don't have that same leverage as you would if you had a fair assessment of where you should be in the rankings. So to me, it just makes a better case for the fighters and for their earning potential.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll go along with that.
You have a question of the week before we start talking about whatever fuck we want?
Yeah, I sure do.
You want to get to it now or later?
Yeah, I'll get to it now.
Right.
This will be interesting. Okay, so I think I know 2 of us do, but I don't know about Mr. Fred Kirby over there. I think he's too egotistical and vain to do this to himself. But if you have a tattoo or don't have a tattoo, explain a tattoo you have or a tattoo you would want to get if you could get it.
Okay. I'll go first. This is good because I have no tattoos. You're absolutely right. I would never destroy my temple like that. But if I would, no. But I actually have always had the idea. If I ever do get a tattoo, if I ever actually go through with it, I am going to get "Life Ain't Fair" across the top of my back.
All right.
Because that was a phrase every time some bad shit would happen to me when I was younger, I just felt like I would, like when somebody would die or something. It's just a phrase that I would always keep uttering to myself, like, damn, life just really ain't fair. It's just one of the realest things I've ever fucking known. So that's what I would get. Life ain't fair.
Real quick, Raider Jab in the comments saying I may do the 5 a.m. main card. We'll get LFA on Friday night at least. So there's also LFA. Plenty of fighting this weekend. It's just
true.
Nothing huge. I got a bunch of tattoos, but I have this one right here. You guys can see it if I could turn it the right way. Can I see it right?
I see a little cross.
Yeah.
And some names.
It says Lord knows on it.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny because I'm not religious whatsoever, but it's kind of similar to you were saying. It's kind of like a saying, right? Like shit happens.
Yeah.
Well, why the fuck does that happen?
Knows.
Yeah, a lot of people would be like, oh, you know, fucking, you know, things happen for a reason. But I always hated that things happen for a reason because when bad things happen, it's like you sit there and beat your head open trying to figure out what the fuck the reason was for. And I got tired of that, so I used to just say, you know, Lord knows, man, who knows? You know what I mean? So that's the thing. And then like inside the cross, there's actually 2 hands like this, and like eyes and a mouth. Like it's a female. And my mom prays for me a lot, so that's kind of why I got that because my mom's still very religious. I'm not, and there's got to be a reason I'm not all fucked up. So my mom's building up credit with Jesus for me.
Best of both worlds, right? She's built up credit just in case.
Exactly. So, what about you, Jesse?
Yeah, I'm surprised Fred didn't say something like, you know, getting like I eat booty or something across his face or under his eyes.
Well, don't get me wrong. The second runner up is big on my dick. You know what I mean?
Oh, Jesus.
That's the runner up.
Anyway, I actually have on my right arm, kind of like Eddie over there, I have a pretty big Green Lantern symbol.
Really? I knew you were a fan. I know you got a tattoo.
Yeah, I got a tattoo. Basically because the Green Lantern, to me, it's all about hope and, you know, the human spirit. The stronger his resolve is, the stronger his ring becomes. So, you know, it's more of a just overcoming everything, you know, because like you have hope. Yeah, so I have that, and I have part of the oath of "In Darkest Day and Blackest Night" on there. So, yep.
Now, what do you think? Ooh, hold up. This has got fun. Hang on, let's see if it's actually like today. Fucking internet sucks. I'm put on my phone. Unless this bitch wants to work, it doesn't. All right, so Did you guys speaking of tattoos? Oh, here we go. This is fucking from
I kind of
earlier
wish
today.
Fred.
Mike, what up?
Uh-huh.
No, go ahead.
No. I was gonna ask Fred what he thought about Post Malone's tattoo under his eyes. Always tired.
Yeah. What?
I don't even think I've seen that yet.
I'm gonna look that up now. That sounds stupid.
Oh, I gotta send
Wow.
something to you then, Fred.
He legitimately has always tired.
Okay, let me ask you guys this real quick, on a side MMA note, because I actually have to go here in just a minute. But and I kind of wanted to talk about this a lot more on my podcast yesterday.
Yeah.
But we got so wrapped up in Kanye's busy June that we barely got to speak about it. XXX Tentacion, Lord knows, I'm sorry, I'm butchering the poor boy's name from the fucking afterlife. But Triple X. A young 20-year-old rapper was shot in Florida and killed yesterday, the day before.
Antoine Rose.
That was his real name.
Is that the cat that got shot in the back? Oh, you're talking about the rapper? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I'm talking about XXX.
Okay, yeah, his name was like Jose something. I read it in the story earlier.
Yeah. The 20-year-old rapper got killed in Florida.
Yeah.
Which isn't extremely newsworthy, but this particular rapper had a really checkered past with he supposedly beat his pregnant girlfriend really badly, supposedly allegedly stabbed her in the pussy with a fork, beat up a gay man pretty bad while he was in jail.
What the fuck?
But was supposedly on his way to repenting for these acts and trying to make amends and become a better person. I seen a few videos of his on social media. He seemed to be speaking positive things. Now, saying positive shit and doing positive shit are two different things. All that being said, the question, I guess, becomes, how do you feel about this kid dying now? There were a lot of people online that were like, fuck it, he got what he deserved. There were a whole bunch of other people that were saying he was super influential and, a legend taken too early. I did not know much of his music, but even judging or knowing what he supposedly did in the past, just for the sake of argument, assuming that he did it, I still don't think he deserved to die. It finds me wondering, do people think that all felons should die? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
real quick, Fred, let me set something up for you guys. I kind of had that same visceral reaction to him because I didn't know too much about him before. And I just heard the bad stuff, right? What he did, why he was charged, the aggravated assault in prison and all that stuff. Okay. This kid from when he was young, didn't really have family, was abused, was mistreated, had just a bad upbringing. Okay. And people that have bad upbringings that are kind of shuffled in that way, they don't really have the best start possible. So it's not like you could say, well, he had a good life, he had a good childhood, he could have been better, he could have done better. Sometimes some of these guys are just grown up in a situation where just these acts that they do are just kind of like them expressing how they grew up, how they feel, how depressed they are, how just angry they are at the world. And without knowing that he grew up that way, I could understand why people would say he got what he deserved. But knowing that he grew up that way, it just makes me feel bad that this kid wasn't given an opportunity to become something other than what he had done and what his upbringing had done to him. So to me, I feel bad. I feel bad that, maybe he was trying to do a positive turn and it ended for him too early. So, I can't really judge whether he was trying to be better or not, because like I said, I didn't really know too much about him or his music. But yet, knowing his backstory, it does make me feel pretty sad that he was taken like that.
I'm not terribly sympathetic because of his backstory, although I do dig what you're saying, and that definitely does matter. Coming from a fucked up situation makes it a lot more likely that you're going to be a fucked up individual, no doubt. But what I would like to add to that and to add more emphasis on, even though, is his age. You know, he was 20 when he died. So a lot of this shit that he did was at least in the past. So he was at least under fucking 20. I think a couple of these things he had done when he was like fucking 16 or 17. And then, you know, one even like 18 or 19 last year, which I realized was not that long ago. On the same token, he's still fucking a young kid. And I don't think he deserved to die. And people are fucking heinous these days, man. Online, you know, motherfuckers are like retweeting the video of him of his body after being shot, and you know, like talking trash about it, man. You know, but on the same token, so look, this is how I ultimately feel about this. But I have 2 daughters, so if that was my daughter that he beat so bad she can't see out of her right eye no more, and that he stabbed in the fucking snatch with a fork, can't say that I ain't doing a rain dance today.
Right, but
I'm on the same boat as Fred. I got 2 of them too, and any man puts their hands on them, they're gonna die.
And if it's not my daughters, it's still heinous.
It's still heinous.
But like, I suppose everybody deserves a second chance, unless it's my little girls, and then you ain't getting no fucking second chance. So there's that.
No, you're right. You're right, Fred. But you also have to think the way that you, me, and Eddie here raise our children. I don't think that our kids would be in that type of relationship, seeking that type of person.
Hey, listen, you bite your fucking tongue, Jesus. We hope not, but you never know how this fucking ride of life is going to turn out, man. A whole bunch of kids have been raised right and grow up to be fucking whoas.
Yeah,
right.
All due respect.
You do your best, right? You do your best. You try to just get them in the right direction, whatever you can. And you know, like I said, being a parent yourself, you understand that if a child is just completely messed up from the beginning, man, sometimes, you know, even though people are saying, oh, it was just last year. Yeah, in a year, a person can become a totally different person.
Especially when they're that age, man.
Yeah.
Especially when they're that age. You change so much when you're young like that. And believe me, you know, God rest the dead, I'm not trying to talk shit about him. I'm not making an excuse for any fucked up shit he did to a woman while he was alive. I know a whole bunch of feminists that get their little panties all fucked up. See, fucking guys is taking up for him. See, this is how guys are always like.
Look,
but what the fuck?
End of the day, I don't think anyone deserves. Like, very few people deserve to eat bullets and die.
Right, exactly. I mean, maybe he should have went to prison,
right?
Or got a nice little ass whooping thrown on him and went to prison, but not fucking death.
Yeah,
man. He can't even make it better now.
We have a system where you can pay your debt to society. And if you murdered a bunch of people, you murder somebody, you get the death penalty. That's your debt to society. You got to pay. That's just how it goes in this country, right? But to go out and eat bullets and have people be like, "Oh yeah, it fucking serves you right for all the shit you did." He didn't pay for those crimes. There's no justice today for that.
And you know what? And Joe Budden made a great point on all this too. In that, look, everybody's allowed to have their opinion.
Right.
If you don't give a shit about this kid because of the things that he did while he's alive, cool beans.
Yeah.
But shut the fuck up 24 hours after the boy's dead.
Yeah.
Timing is everything in a situation like this. This is a young man that's dead now. Bite your fucking tongue for a week, huh?
Yeah.
Have just a little bit of respect. You don't have to fucking tweet 5 fucking minutes after the kid's still dead in his Ferrari. Haha, that's what you get, motherfucker. Yeah. Like, come on, bro. I mean, even if that's how you feel, hold it back for just the fucking moment.
Yeah. One of my friends used to tell me, like, we talk about shit like this happening, he'd be like, hey, man, criminals got families too, and they're hurting.
It's a fact.
Yeah, and plus it's like, you know, how many of us made dumbass decisions when we were young, you know? How many people, like, let's say someone like an Anthony Bourdain or anybody else that is very well respected when they were going through troubles when they were young, doing drugs, being a drunk person, how many just awful things and awful ways did they treat people? Yet now that they were able to become a different person, do people see them in a different light? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't always.
I mean, listen, we all didn't beat the shit out of a broad and stab her in the snatch, but I generally get what you're saying, though. I mean, you know, this was a little heinous. I'm not going to bullshit you, but
No, you're right.
as Eddie said, death is not the fucking answer for this.
Yeah,
though.
it's not. Yeah, dying like this is not justice. He should have, you know, if he would have paid his debt to society for whatever crimes he may have committed, that would have been it. But this is not the way you do it. This is not how it works.
Right.
So I mean, and whatever. I don't even know if they came up with like a motive or anything. Supposedly it was like some people were saying botched robbery, whatever. But I did see there was a video of like they did a memorial for him and they got fucking nuts. And it turned into like a riot.
I just seen the headline riot breaks out.
Yeah, like people were jumping into the crowds and shit. I'm like, hey man, y'all need to chill the fuck out with that shit. But you know, what are you gonna do, man? Real quick, Mike Russell at Mike Russell MMA, as we know him, he's like the guy to know to talk to Ali about. He tweeted out about 3:22, I'm assuming Pacific time. He tweeted out the tweet is hearing Ali Abdelaziz allegedly assaulted another manager in Chicago today. Police were called, a complaint was made, and a restraining order was implemented. Abdelaziz was moved to another hotel. No arrests as of yet, more as it develops. And then he retweeted that with more information about 12 minutes ago, saying a source from Chicago PD confirmed that 3 men were involved in a battery today of a victim in his hotel room at the Embassy Suites, host hotel of the PFL, the Professional Fighters League, where this whole card is going to happen in Chicago. I'm told charges could be brought by morning. It's likely the accused were told to not leave Chicago. Man, that Ali's fucking tripping. I don't know why he's smacking managers and shit, but he's tripping. If it's true that he did that. So that's just
that dude better wake up.
Yeah, a little bit of late breaking news. All right, fellas. Anything else you guys want to throw out here?
Well,
I
was gonna ask the other Mexican what he thought about the whole situation happening with the kids, but
it's fucked up. I'm hurting. Here's the thing. So there's people. I can't stand the people that like take a situation and have to make it about them. In a sense, for example, like some people were tweeting out. I don't know if, for lack of a better word, it's a meme, but it's not really a meme. It says, it was like a picture of a young lady and it said, an illegal immigrant separated this woman from her family, basically saying he killed her. And so I looked up a story. And yeah, this chick was killed by an illegal immigrant. Fair enough. But they're taking the situation and making it about themselves is kind of weird. But the whole situation is gross.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, they were coming out saying like they're not in cages, they're in like dorms, they're even having proms. And then video comes out, they're in fucking cages. And people are like, oh no, those are just fences. I'm like, there's a top to the box. That's a cage. If you're surrounded by chain link fence and then there's a top chain link thing like cover on top of the box, you're in a cage, motherfucker. That's what that is. And it's just I think, look, you can say whatever you want about who started the law and all this other shit. They're definitely enforcing the fuck out of it now. It's not, to me, it's not necessarily about who started it, right? Whenever you see two kids fight, right, it's never the kid that started it that gets the shit. It's the kid that fucking ended it. The last one that got seen throwing a punch, right? And that's not fair, 100%. But this motherfucker is like, he jacked the numbers up on what he was doing. So I know he did this. He did sign some executive order today, cutting the shit with that, which is good. But it's the visuals give you the reality, or you can make it more reality, right? Make it more real. If you hear they're putting kids in cages, you're just like, oh shit, that's pretty fucked up, whatever. Then you get the pictures of the kids in cages, and you're sitting there going like, what the fuck are we doing? This is 2018 in America? Are you kidding me right now? We do this to people? They're supposed to be here. They should blame the parents for bringing them illegally. They're children. The fuck choice do they have?
Yeah, like, no shit, man.
What the fuck? Like, we used to be, in this country used to be, and people can bullshit all they want to get mad at me for saying this. We used to be a country of morals and ethics. We're not that anymore. That's not moral. You separate a baby from its mother, from their mother.
Listen, I don't think it's fair to say that we are not a country of morals anymore, though.
Okay.
The administration. Look. look at the outcry that happened, though, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's a very
True.
interesting dichotomy in this country. They did that, and then the rest of America spoke the fuck out
Yeah.
in droves, like, yo, what the fuck is up with this? To the point that even the orange one himself
Had them do something.
just fucking, you know, renounce that shit. So it's interesting. Like it's a bad time, but you see there are also a lot of Americans that come right out full force against that shit. You know what I mean? In droves. So
You're right, Fred. You're right, Fred. That is something that we see, but you also see the heinous people on television talking about, oh, those are just kid actors. That's not true. Those
Get
are
the
all
fuck
lies.
out. Someone said that?
Oh, wait. I will drop a name. I'm not really loving what I see, but look up Ann Coulter, CNN,
Oh, god damn bitch.
and her pleading with the president saying, don't listen to these child actors. They need to get a better script. You know, the heinous people that are okay with this situation. But, you know, the most, like Fred said, there's a lot of people that are speaking out about this. I mean, the most concise thing that I heard was Kevin Costner, the actor, saying that he doesn't recognize his America. You know, that to me was a pretty concise and powerful thing that he said. You know, not recognizing how this stuff is happening and how you know, it's kind of being done. So it was just a bad situation. I just wanted to see what my other Mexican guy here would say about it. You know,
Dude.
Obviously knowing that he would take a pretty hard stance against it.
Dude.
Obviously.
This
all right, boys.
bitch.
I have
but
to
I got
go, guys.
All right, dude, no problem. And thanks for jumping on, dude.
Yep.
Fred, you did a great job of talking about it, and I encourage everybody to go listen to it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. All right, boys. You would know what it is. Same place, same time next week, guys.
Later, dude.
Later, guys.
Hey, dude, fucking, I can't believe the quality of shit people that are famous. Like, yeah, this Ann Coulter cunt. Like, I don't use that word lightly at all. She's a cunt. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's pretty heinous.
What the fuck?
I saw that. I was like, wow, that's pretty bad.
Child actors. Like, I get it. Like, she's a professional troll and probably the best at it that we know of, but that's incredible. Like, dude, wow. All right, dude, I'm fucking annoyed with this shit right now. Like, how, look, forget the fact, and I can speak to this because I'm from Mexico, right? I was one of the lucky ones that was able to do it right. You know, the thing everyone throws out all the time. Do it legally, do it right. I was able to, luckily, right? But luckily, I was lucky that I was able to, that I had, you know, that my family had the ability to do that, right? And it's very discouraging to see that we, first of all, the term illegal immigrant, the term illegal, all that shit, it's just a dehumanizing term. All right. If we're gonna be worried about how words are used and all this shit, but you know, we're picking and choosing where we use them, it's like, what the fuck? That's a word that is used. Illegal alien, legal immigrant is used to dehumanize somebody, right? Because it doesn't sound good to say we separated, you know, humans from each other, or, you know, for example, you know, Border Patrol, you know, mowed down 11 humans crossing the border. That doesn't sound good, right?
Right.
But they, you know, they got into a competition with legal immigrants. Already, you know, you already have a certain feeling about that phrase. If you're, you know, and if you don't understand, you know, that they're humans, you already think, oh wow, it's fucked up, illegal, you know, they're dehumanizing these people, and it's disgusting to think that something like that could happen in this country. You know what I mean? Like, we used to be known as compassionate. You know what I'm saying? We used to, you know, send. I mean, fuck. I'll take it back to the old thing. 1993. The United States, you know, sent. I want to say it's Bush Senior, sent the Marines into Somalia to help in a situation where there was famine going on. Right? This is the story of Black Hawk Down. You know, where they sent the Marines in there first, to restore order, to restore, you know, bring food, bring supplies to the people, right? And then, you know, a bunch of shit went down. That's how you got Black Hawk Down. But Like this country used to be known as a compassionate people. And in the last, I don't know, fucking 15, 20 years, I guess, that's turned around almost completely. You know what I mean? And to the point where it's like, all right, the government's not compassionate, the people are, right? Like, you know, you always get people getting in trouble and they put up you know, fucking GoFundMe's and shit like that. Whatever your opinions on that is, you know, fair enough. But, you know, like, for example, when Houston had that hurricane, like, fucking JJ Watt, who's a millionaire, could just, you know, well, I'm fucking out of here, whatever. He went the other way. He raised money and got feet on the ground and helped people out, right? Fucking to take it MMA, Derek Lewis was in his, you know, giant ass lifted truck, fucking driving out to flooded spots, getting out of his truck because he's so huge, was able to walk. The fucking water go up to his like knees, maybe. And he'd be like physically carrying people to his pickup truck, just back and forth a bunch of times, and then driving somewhere safe. Like,
and even saved a racist guy that had a Confederate flag.
Exactly. He didn't give a shit. He's like, cool, whatever. Whatever. People. What up?
But you're right. Like, I think Fred had a good point, is that what we see is like policies and like this whole, you know, a Democrat Republican thing getting in the way of what people really, you know, understand and humanize. You know, like nobody gives a damn about what's going on the border, right? Up until something bad happens. When something bad happens or they're made aware of some situation, that's when people understand and show that compassion, right? Like when you see it and it becomes something real and vivid to you, then that's when people want to act, when people understand. Yeah. And to me, one of the best ways to understand is putting yourself in the shoes of the people that are crossing illegally. You know, these people are risking dying horrible, nasty deaths to get a chance, not even a guaranteed chance, but just get a chance at getting a better life than they had where they lived. I mean, it's mind-blowing and it's a hard concept for somebody that's born here that doesn't understand that, you know, somebody that just is so devoid of that. But I will reference, there's a 3-part series on Radiolab. If anybody wants to go check it out, it's called The Border Trilogy. Yes. 3 parts where they follow, and basically it details the whole story of how this whole situation went down, everything that happens with, you know, people crossing illegally, the border patrol, all that stuff. I encourage everybody to go listen to that and just understand what the hardships that these people go through and the compassion that you need to give these people. I get it. They're breaking the law. I understand that, you know, but you also have to understand the type of risks that these people are taking just at a chance to better their life, you know? And I think that's the biggest thing that people need to understand. You know, it's not even a guarantee, you know, they could get caught and then sent back, you know, or they could die. You know, it's like, it's pretty horrible what these people have to go through, but yet they do it just at a chance at a better life.
And the crazy thing is we've been turning to scared people about everything. Everything scares us now. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, it was hard to scare the United States. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it was hard to scare the United States. Like these, you know, we got a few now. Like, you know, don't tread on me. I dare you to try that shit here. Fucking when I think I remember you remember that. You remember when in Texas they had like a Draw Muhammad contest, and these like these 2 motherfuckers showed up to shoot it up, and they were killed like fucking quick because it's fucking Texas with all these guns and shit. Rogan has a bit on it. You guys should go see it on his last special, but. It's a true story. That actually happened, right? Like those motherfuckers weren't scared. But the thing is, we've been turned into such a scared society, right? And is there a reason to be scared, to be vigilant, be very aware? Sure. But scared is tough. Like they use this whole, you know, they're illegal immigrants or illegals and all sort of stuff to scare people here, right? And so now it's just like, oh, you know, the illegals are coming. It's like, oh, God, you know, protect this, protect that. And it's just like, they're still people, man, but they're not trying to hurt you. Like when Trump said the whole, you know, and look, he got taken out of context. All right. And he probably should have explained himself a little more. Like he said, you know, they're sending, you know, rapists and killers and murderers and shit, whatever, and then everyone took it as him saying they're all rapists and murderers and shit, which they're really, I don't think that's what he was saying, but that kind of language is what scares people, and language is super powerful, dude. Like we don't even think about it that much, right? Like language is incredibly powerful. Language can change everything. Why? Because with language you can change the definition, how things are perceived. Again, human, and instead you go with illegal immigrant, illegal alien, right?
Yep.
It's a trip. And I hate when people say illegal is illegal. All right, cool. Next time you get pulled over for illegally running a red light or a stop sign, don't bitch. Ask for the ticket. Yeah, seriously. No, don't fight with the cop. Illegal is illegal. Can't do that. The fuck are you talking about? Like, it's and that's an extreme example, but come the fuck on, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bigger conversation to have.
Yeah,
because everybody wants to be right, and everybody thinks that there's a simple solution to the problem, and there's not. This country offers people so many opportunities that it's like a gem. It's like an oasis in the desert, especially where you live, where basically cartels running your city. If you go outside and you don't, or if you go and turn on the wrong street, you're going to get killed. Your kid's going to get killed, or your kid's going to get taken up and then put in the cartel business, or you can't own a business that's too successful because the cartel is going to come and knocking and, asking for a cut of your business. This is oppression that's happening to them, and they see a way out of just escaping. It's one of those things where it's like there's no easy answer. And you're right, you and your family were able to do it legally.
Yeah,
my family was not. I was born here, but my mom didn't come here legally. And she left 2 kids in Mexico to come here to give them a better life. And that's the story you hear all over the place, man. You hear these stories, and it just sucks, and it's heartbreaking to kind of see, that this is the type of thing that's going on right now.
Right. And it's not, we're not coming at this from like a left or right stand. First of all, I'll say this right now about political parties and liberals and conservatives, you're all retards. All of them. All of them idiots. Okay. Because if you are going to subscribe to an idea based on what your team is, and you don't think about the issue, like fucking Chris Rock has the best bit on it. He goes, there's some things I'm liberal about, there's some things I'm conservative about. He goes, crime, I'm conservative. Prostitution, I'm liberal. Right? It's a good joke. It's funny. The point is there. The point is there. Think about the issue. Let it swirl around your head and then make up your mind. Don't go, oh, what do I think about, for example, marijuana? What does my team say? Oh, I'm against it. Yeah, I'm against it. Yeah, are we against it? Yeah, we're against it. Yep. Why? Why are we against it? Well, my team's against it. Yeah, liberals, fucking liberals. You know what I mean? Like over and over again. Lefties, left wingers, like all of anyone that fucking subscribes to it. Anybody that subscribes to, and shout out Dave Madden, and shout out to Give Him 70, whatever. And sorry, you guys, we had a short MMA show, so now we're just talking shit. And Fred was on here earlier, so now we're me and Jesse just going back and forth. But if you subscribe to an idea based on what your team says, like, look, fair enough. Oh, I'm a Suns fan. We get the #1 pick tomorrow night, and I'm hoping we don't fuck it up. All right. And every day everyone talks about the Cavs and the Warriors. I'm like, fuck it, everybody. It's about Suns. For me, it's about the Suns. Fuck everybody else, right? When it comes to something stupid like that, fair enough. But when it comes to making decisions about your society and your government and your country and all that and your people, to go, well, I'm a left winger, so I believe this. We should have 8,000 genders. I'm a conservative. We should have this, and everyone should have guns and everything, and it should be like everyone can get whatever gun, whenever they want to. Whatever your views are on that, it doesn't even matter. I'm not even giving you my personal views on that. It's just an example. To subscribe to an idea based on what your team says is fucking stupid and irresponsible. Especially if you fuckers, if those people are fucking procreating. You know what I mean? If you're having children, you're teaching them the same shit, go fuck yourself, 100%. Like, teach your kids, like, hey, you look at the issue, think about it, let it swirl around for a little bit, give it a day, even a couple hours. Then make up your mind. Don't go and be like, what do they say about it? What does my team say? Because that's stupid. But it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I also think that the fact that, a lot of kids nowadays aren't really growing up to be anything. Everything's so
Right.
easy for them. Everything is so in your face. Like even
Handed to
I'm
you.
guilty of this. Of like my son wants the tablet, and he'll like put up a fit or something, and the
Mhm.
first thing I do is like, hey, don't do that, and then I'm like, here it is, man.
Yeah.
And it sucks because like as a parent, you kind of don't want them to go through what you might have gone through, what you went
Right.
through. But then if you make it too easy for them, then you're screwing them up because now they're not building character. They're not going through hardship. They're not, just trying to understand their environment and, living through it. We're
Yeah.
making it too easy for them to kind of just, and then that's when you become a bunch of people, a bunch of kids that are in college and need safe spaces, because
Mhm.
finals is so hard and they need a place to cry. They don't have coping skills. They don't have, they like to yell at professors and, make fun of them for shutting up or putting their hands down or talking about microaggressions or all this stuff. It's like we're building a society of people that don't understand real issues and real problems.
Right.
We're surprised when they react with, well, I'm gender fluid, or that's a microaggression that you picked up your voice a little bit towards me or something, or you put your hand
Right.
up, you know. So I think it's just a wider understanding of what's going on, the big issues. Like I said, go and listen to that Radio Lab thing, and it gives
Mhm.
you a perspective of hardship and pain because these people that are stuck, out in the desert trying to cross and then die, they don't die a very comfortable death, man. And
No.
the end of their life is miserable, horrible, and probably, terrifying. I just remember, what was it, Yoel Romero, when he was on Joe Rogan's podcast,
Mhm.
and he talked about how families leaving Cuba, crossing a jungle. So
Yeah.
an uncle would go first. He would get eaten by some jungle cat or something. The family would come behind them and see them, and their motto is, you got to keep moving forward. Like,
Yeah.
you can't even mourn for the death, because you got to move forward, because you got to make a better life for your
Gotta
family.
make it.
Like that type of like hardship makes something different out of a person. And when you don't have that, that just makes just a weak person that doesn't understand his surroundings.
Right. Dave Mann is saying today's kids are empowered and they know it. That's why we end up with videos of that kid trying to fight the older man. That older man,
Oh yeah.
yeah. The second that dude pushed back at the kids, yelled, abuse. It is crazy. Dave said crazy. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a video. And I think we're talking about the same one was that kid like cussing his ass off, right? And he gets in
Well,
that dude's and he's like pushing that dude, right?
yeah. Then
And
after he got dropped,
well,
then,
he isn't even he didn't even get punched. The guy goes
no.
kind of grabs him by the throat a little bit and shoves him to the ground, and then he starts squealing like a little pig and like screaming and abuse, and that's child abuse. Like, bro, you deserve that first of all. But just 20, 30 years ago, other people would have been like, good, fuck that kid. You know what I mean?
No, 20, 30 years ago, another adult would have spanked that kid.
Yeah, that
Then
kid's
he would
parent
take
would have been whooping him ass.
then they would have taken his ass home, and then his mama would have spanked him,
Yep.
and that would have never happened again.
Yeah. No, that shit, it's fucking nuts, man. But like, I don't know. It's a weird spiral we're going into. This is a pendulum, right? It's a pendulum. Life is. I fully believe that. Right now, we're up here in this extreme of this soft, crazy shit, and it's starting to swing back. All the shit we're going through right now is just a swing back, and at some point, we're gonna end up over here, and then we'll come back. I mean, history has shown us that that's what happens. Um, Dave says it was amazing how many people defended the older man. I thought he was gonna be slayed. Oh, I was watching the video going, good. That kid needs an ass whooping. Later, Dave. Appreciate you coming on, man. And on the comment section.
Yeah, I don't know how you could defend that kid though. That's
I
pretty
can
tough.
no, fuck that. I hope that kid got home and got his ass whooped. 100%. A
Yeah,
parent
right.
would
He
fucking
got
whoop
home.
his ass. Yeah, right. To his nanny, and then mom and dad came home. And they're like, "We're too tired. Go here, take his Xanax, and go to bed." Like, fuck. Here's what I want to leave it. Anything else to talk about? Because this is a little quote I want to leave the show with tonight.
Nah, go ahead.
All right. when I was in Mexico, I was like third grade when I was going into third grade, and we got here. And I remember when we got here, I think we landed in Phoenix first, and like we got here and it was weird because it was one of those like weird things that you don't think about right away. You think about it like 20, 30 years later. When we were in the airport, Sky Harbor, we were walking by when postcards were still a huge thing, right? There was like little racks, little spinner racks of postcards.
Mhm.
There was one with the Statue of Liberty. I remember asking my dad what that was, and he explained it to me. Because that Statue of Liberty, it's in New York. It's symbol of this country. It's a big symbol of this country. Freedom and opportunity and all this stuff. On that Statue of Liberty, it reads, there's a plaque. It says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." There isn't an asterisk on that shit, motherfuckers. There isn't a fucking little asterisk that says, "Unless you're from someone we don't like," or "Unless you do it a way we don't like." That's a symbol of hope that people in other countries see. That's why we have such a melting pot of cultures and races in this country. That's why we have so many, multiracial families. You know what I mean? Fuck, there was I went to maybe like 3 years ago. I went to California to see an aunt and an uncle that hadn't seen it forever, and I hadn't spoken to that side of the family, right? And fucking like one of my cousins married a white dude, and her sister married a black dude. Like it's a whole mixture of people now. You know what I mean? And I just don't understand where we went to the point we're so, and I think it's the fear. I think it's that people are so afraid of something different, something new, that they just started pushing back on things. Someone told them, it's because of these guys. And it's just like, yeah, it's because of them, Like, it's not, I'll put it this way. It's not that plaque right there is everything that people outside this country used to believe this place was. You know what I mean? It's a thing that I believe we could still be, and we have the ability to be. It just takes a little bit of compassion. You know what I mean? And a little bit of not just understanding, but wanting to try and understand. And not this attitude everyone has these days of you're either on my team or you're not. If we could ever realize that, for lack of a better term, this government, right? Or something, I don't know how to label it. Something out there is playing both sides against us and dividing us as a people. Whoever you believe it is, whatever organization, whatever it is you believe is doing that. We're so like divided, and it's trying to keep us divided. We're fighting each other. You know what I mean? And it's disheartening as fuck, dude. It really is. But I don't know. I still believe that we could be better, and I think we will be one day. But this whole putting kids in cages thing, man, goddamn, it's fucking trippy. Anyway,
yeah, terrible.
Yeah, but yeah, again, I think hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, I think it's figured out sooner than later.
I agree with you, and I think that people like I would say it's perspective. That border trilogy. I mean, just go out and look at anything. Again, referencing somebody important in my life, Anthony Bourdain. The way he saw culture, the way he saw people, it gave him a perspective in life. An embracing perspective that I think we could all just learn a little something about the way he saw everybody, and the way he saw it was through their food. And it doesn't have to be that just food, but I mean that's a great way to learn a different culture and learn about different people. And I think if people do that, like you said, you start to understand people and start to build a different type of relationship with these people.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. And I think we need to put a little bit of effort to it for sure. What was I gonna say? Fuck.
Coming from the two brown guys on the show, right?
Right. Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I mean, it almost feels like we're like living like now I'm gonna get Eddie Bravo shining. Almost like we live in an illusion that we've been sold but we can't like wipe it out, get it out of our eyeballs or our heads or whatever. So anyway,
See, that's the thing. I can't even say that you got too high and now you crossed the Eddie Bravo line. You just no too high for you. You just cross the line every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. All right, y'all. Hey, look, y'all know where to follow us. Shout out to Rep the Warrior, to represent repthewarriors.com, spicespros.com. Shout out to all that. They got new stuff, all new items all the time. Go check them out, including candy. I think is what they decided, and it's actually some good shit. I actually got some stuff sent, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, man, enjoy UFC Saturday. Enjoy PFL tomorrow night. EBI on Sunday. I'll definitely be watching. And maybe we need to start like a non-MMA podcast on this shit. You know, I mean, just like an hour of just talking about shit. Even if just me and you, even though, because then, Kirby. And by the way, definitely fucking subscribe on SoundCloud to the Gem City Jesus podcast. It's fucking worth it. Believe me. I actually have it queued up on my phone for tonight. I'm about to go to work like right now. So, like, I'll leave you with this. If there's somebody, a neighbor or somebody you know that you don't like talk to, you know what I mean? Because of some perceived thought or idea that's in your head, just give it a shot. Just say what's up. Just say what's up, because that's crossing the bridge right there. And if you want to cross the bridge, chances are they are too. And who knows? You'll make a friend. You can make a friend. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody, man. I'm all mellowed out now and shit because I'm thinking too much. But all right. Again, Jesse, Fred, myself, appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Have a good night. And good night, Wilshire.